As winter tightens its grip on the country, many Americans are left wondering whether the cold will claim any lives this year. America and Canada were swept by a severe and unprecedented cold wave this winter, as temperatures fell to record levels. Snowstorms have caused work life to stop in many areas, thousands of flights have been delayed, and transportation has stopped. Meteorologists say Americans will experience the coldest Christmas in 40 years. The location of Canada and America and their proximity to the North Pole makes them vulnerable to many storms, as over the years the country witnessed several snowstorms. In February of the year 2021, at least 21 people died as a result of an unprecedented frost wave in the southern states of Texas, Louisiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Missouri. In 2014, temperatures in all 50 U.S. states dropped to 0 degrees or fewer, as a result of the unusual cold weather that hit parts of the country, while snowfall caused a state of emergency to be declared in western New York and 4 people died. The following are the heaviest snowstorms that hit the USA. The Chicago storm of 1967. The Midwestern regions of the United States of America have suffered several snowstorms due to the high population density in these regions. In the year 1976, a devastating snowstorm struck the city of Chicago and then spread to other cities such as Kalamazoo in the state of Michigan and Gary in the state of Indiana. The accumulated snow reached a height of 61 centimeters, and the wind speed exceeded 80.5 kilometers in the storm. The storm left 76 people dead, 26 in Chicago alone. This storm set a record for the most snowfall in a 24-hour period in Chicago, with 58.4 centimeters. The Buffalo Blizzard of 1977. In one of the worst blizzards to ever hit the United States, snowfall and brutal winds of 120.7 kilometers per hour resulted in icy weather, leaving several meters of snow piled on the ground. This storm brought bitter cold as the temperature dropped to more than 20 degrees below zero within a few hours and stranded people at work and in their cars. This resulted in 29 deaths in western New York and southern Ontario, and the effects of that storm extended to Canada. The New York Blizzard of 2006. This storm was not as strong as its predecessors, covering smaller areas than other blizzards. Also, the wind speed did not reach the maximum limit, due to the scientific definition of a strong blizzard that requires a continuous wind speed of more than 56.3 kilometers per hour, as well as blurred vision for a distance of 152.4 meters. But this storm became famous for one reason. And it hit New York City. The weather station at the Central Park Zoo in New York detected about 68.3 centimeters of snow accumulated as a result of the storm. This is the largest snowfall in New York City in history and breaks the record set in 1947. The New England Blizzard of 1978. In 1978, a blizzard hit New England for more than an entire day and more than 4 inches, 4.2 centimeters, of snow fell in 1 hour. This storm also hit Boston and many communities in Rhode Island, and New York City, 4 hours south of Boston, was also affected by the storm. Meteorologists estimate total snowfalls of between 12 and 36 inches during this storm, with Boston totaling 68.8 inches, which is a record for that city. The wind speed at that time reached more than 161 kilometers per hour, which caused the collapse of snow and lack of visibility in most areas. Great Snow in New England in 1717. This massive snowfall was caused by 4 blizzards that struck New England in quick succession in late February and early March of 1717. Heavy snowfalls were recorded as far away as Philadelphia, but Boston was the hardest hit. This winter was a first-class snowy winter with 1.5 m of snow on the ground before the massive snowfall started and 122 centimeters added to that number after that. Entire homes were buried and people had to get out through the windows of the upper floors. More than 95% of the deer died in these areas. Storm of the Century in 1993. In early March 1993, a blizzard raged along the east coast of the United States, bringing snow and swirling winds over larger areas than any other storm in history. Scientists monitored huge amounts of snow falling from eastern Canada to Alabama, and many areas were affected in 26 other states. Almost half of the population of the United States was affected in one way or another, including many major cities, and 270 Americans were victims of this storm. This storm broke many records, as it was considered a Category 3 hurricane. The Great White Hurricane of 1888. This blizzard was so massive that it became a historic event in the history of America. It ranked first in the list of the worst snowstorms in history ever, and it was called the Great White Hurricane, as it paralyzed the entire eastern coast of the country and Canada. Large amounts of snow fell, temperatures dropped frighteningly, and large avalanches occurred. More than 400 people were killed in that disaster, and more than 100 people were lost at sea. If you like the video, subscribe and like to continue.